source of Hashem's pleasure, and when we bring Hashem unique pleasure, this causes a different kind of divine flow in the world. And depending upon the pleasure that we bring to the Eibishter, that affects the kind of response of the divine energy that enters the world. So there are two different kinds of ways of serving Hashem. There's the serving Hashem based upon your nature, what fits into what you're used to and what you like doing, and there's serving Hashem going beyond your nature, going beyond what you're used to, beyond what you like to do. So, just like there are two different ways of serving Hashem and ourselves, they're also commensurate to that. There are two different kinds of divine flow. There's a divine flow in nature, and the divine flow which is beyond nature. So what's unique about the month of Nisan is the month of Nisan is about a revelation of godliness which is beyond nature. And this is connected to the Jewish people.
So Tafresh Chavches is?
Tafresh Chavches is in the Nesius the Marash, it seems. The Marash became Rabbi Tafresh Chavav. So Tafresh Chavches was when he was there. It seems. Okay.
How is that relevant?
Because there's another part of the Maamar where the Rebbe discusses how all that we learned in the Maamar is connected to a teaching that Marash, and it's very intricate and it got very Kabbalistic, and Dr. Russman and I were a little lost yesterday, so we're going to go back into it today and we're going to figure this out. Okay?
Right.
So before we go further on in the Maamar, so the Medrash says when Hashem chose Yaakov and his children, he gave them the Rosh Chodesh Nisan. The Jewish people are associated with Rosh Chodesh Nisan. We're associated with miracles. We're associated with bringing out a miraculous behavior, so to speak, from Hashem, and that's unique because we serve Hashem in a unique way. But what we learned yesterday was not just we bring out the miracles of Hashem, but even the natural order, even that which comes to the world naturally, according to the order of nature, it also depends on our service of Hashem. It just depends on a different way of serving Hashem. Our serving Hashem in a more limited way according to our nature. And that's why the verse emphasizes this month will be head of months. We learn that month is associated with miracles because month has to do with change and something which is new and novel. But the Torah says the month of Nisan is called the first of the months of the year, which highlights that not only are we talking about something which is miraculous like a month, we're also talking about the months of the year which has to do with nature. So not only the Jewish people impact the miraculous, but also what happens in nature as well is something which is connected to our service of Hashem. The Torah was given, the world was created rather, for the sake of the Jewish people keeping Torah. So even before there was mitzvahs to speak of, our potential behavior elicited the creation of the world. So even without us serving Hashem in a unique, special way, just the fact that Hashem is looking at our future observance, that already motivated creation. So our behavior is associated with nature, and our natural order, our usual order of serving Hashem is the source of the nature of the world, and our miraculous service of Hashem, going beyond our nature, brings out miracles, brings out something beyond, so to speak, the nature of the world. So now we can connect all that we learned with the teaching of the Marash. This discourse is not officially edited by the Rebbe. The Rebbe did add some things, and one of them is the last paragraph of the Maamar. I'm hoping we're going to try to understand these last two paragraphs, including the very last paragraph which the Rebbe wrote in his handwriting. Okay, so the Marash says like this. The word smoke says Hashem came on Mount Sinai to give us the Torah, and it was full of smoke. The word smoke is an acronym for three words, which represent Olam, Shena, Nefesh, space, time, and soul. Says Rabbi Marash, my grandfather, which means the Mittler Rebbe, explains that the word year, not the word year, a year, I think I would need to mean it. Amen. Yeh Shmira Mubarak. Amen.
You're okay.
Amen. Amen. Okay. Although he uses the word my grandfather, I think he's referring to his great grandfather, which is the Alter Rebbe. So the Alter Rebbe explains what does it mean that Har Sinai is comprised of space, time, and soul. So he says the word time refers to 12 months of the year, the 12 Rosh Chodashim, and these 12 Rosh Chodashim are connected to the 12 Gvulei Alachsim. What are the Gvulei Alachsim? So there are 6 midas in Atzilus. There are 6 emotional attributes in the world of Atzilus. Just like there are 6 emotional attributes in the world of Atzilus, so too there are 6 parts of a room. There is the floor and there is the ceiling, and there is the 4 walls. In addition to the 4 walls and the ceiling and the floor, there's also the points where all of those things meet, and there's in each part of the room, and so there's a total of 12 intersecting borders. Amen. 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 Yeh Shmira Mubarak. Amen. 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 So in this cube, you have the 6 parts of the sides of the cube, and you also have the intersection of each part. So that's in short related to the midas of Atzilus, and the 12 months of the year correspond to these. There are the number 12 because they are connected to the Bais Bezalel, the 12 borders. So although there's 6 midas, the 6 attributes, nevertheless they're associated with number 12. And that's why they're 12 months of the year. That's what the Alter Rebbe said. Now, Alter Rebbe heard this from the Mizitcha Maggid. It says the Rebbe actually probably heard this from the Mizitcha Maggid. That's what the word time refers to. Time refers to the way the midas of Atzilus are somehow connected to the realm of space. I mean, that's it. Amen. Amen. So then there is the realm of time. Time. I'm sorry. The realm of space. That's the realm of time. Is a 12 months of the year, 12 Rosh Chodashim, connected to the 12 intersecting borders, which that refers to the attributes of the feelings, of the emotions of Atzilus, as they are projected somewhat downwards. Not the way the feelings, the chesed and gvura are in themselves intricately, but how they are related to the outside world, how they project to the world beneath them. Because the 6 attributes of Atzilus are the source of the 6 days of the week. There are 6 days of the week, and they are connected to the 6 different kinds of emotions in the world of Atzilus. Today, the 6th day of creation is associated with the sphere of Yesod. So when the Torah talks about Har Sinai being full of smoke, of time, space, and soul, there is those words refer to 3 different dimensions of those 3 emotional attributes. There is the way the 6 attributes, the midas of Atzilus, are in what's called time, how they're associated with the 12 Rosh Chodashim. There is the way they are associated with space, with Olam. That's the way the 6 attributes are in their essence, because the word space is associated with the attributes, the emotional attributes of Atzilus, because the Torah directly uses the word Olam, which also means forever and also means space, Remember your mercy, remember your kindness, because it existed forever. So the word forever is used regarding the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus. So, but the word forever also means space. So therefore the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus refer to also to the attributes of the emotions as they are in their essence, not the way they're projected downwards. And nefesh refers to the vitality of the world. So that's the language of the Alter Rebbe. Nefesh is the vitality of the world. And the Rebbe Marash comments and says that the nefesh is higher than space and higher than time. So the word time refers to the way the midas of Atzilus are projected to be the source for creation. Then there is the attributes of the emotions and the way they are in their essence. That is what the word world refers to. The way they are as a source for creation, but in Atzilus, as they are not projected downwards, as they are in their own space, the natural place of the midas of Atzilus. And then there is nefesh, which is beyond that. What does this mean? Time is also associated, a year is also connected to Rosh Chodesh. We talk about 12 months of the year. So a year, the word year is also associated with Rosh Chodesh. There are 12 Rosh Chodeshes in a year. But the word year is not a reference to the natural place of the midas of Atzilus, as they are in Atzilus. Rather, the word year refers to the way they are as alachsin, as they are in the realm of space, as they are projected downwards, as they are in Malchus, as they descend to the lowest sphere of Atzilus, to become, in the language of Kabbalah, her feet descend to death, referring to how Malchus is the source for a world that feels separate from godliness. So there is the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus as they are in Atzilus, but the word year refers to not the way they are in Atzilus, but the way they are projected downwards, the way they are connected to the worlds of Bria Tziyasiyah, the way the attributes of Atzilus are in the lowest sphere of Atzilus. Malchus, which means speech, is an expression, our speech expresses our feelings. So there is the way our feelings are in ourselves, and there's the way our feelings are in our speech. So the word time, the word year, shana, is connected to the way the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus are in Malchus. Then there is the word world. That refers to the way the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus are in their own space, not the way they've descended. That's the source of miracles. Miracles comes from the midas of Atzilus, the attributes and the emotions of Atzilus, as they are in the source, as they are beyond creation, not the way they descend, but the way they are the way they are intrinsically. The way they project to Malchus refers to the natural order of creation. The way they are in their essence, the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus, as they are in their essence, that's the source of the miracles of Hashem. And beyond this is there's level of soul. Soul is the vitality of the world. What sphere is that? That's beyond the emotions. That's the level of understanding. That's the level of Bina. And that is the source of both Olam, that's the source of the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus as they are in Atzilus, and soul is also vitality of the energy, the emotions of Atzilus as they descend to the world beneath it. So the sphere of Bina, just like naturally, our understanding is what motivates our feelings. Our understanding is what motivates our feelings to be expressed in words as well. So our understanding in this context is connected to the souls of the Jewish people, and of the Jewish people, their service of Hashem is the source of both nature, of both the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus as they are in the world, in the sphere of Malchus, and it also is connected to the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus as they are in their place. Which this is the source of the miracles of Hashem. So both the miracles of Hashem and the natural order depends upon the Jewish people, depends upon Bina. Okay, here's the last paragraph, the paragraph the Rebbe wrote. We could possibly say that the three kinds of divine energy that are alluded to by the words time, space, and soul, respectively, the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus as they are in Malchus, the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus as they are in their space, and the sphere of Bina, which represents the Jewish people, which is beyond both. This is connected to the three Torah readings that were on that Shabbos. I said this discourse in 1971. There's Parshas Vayikra. Parshas Vayikra is called the teaching for the Kohanim. The Jewish people are called Kohanim. They're called the kingdom of priests. That's associated with the sphere of Bina, that's soul. Then there is the reading of HaChodesh Zelle Lachem, the Kriya Parshas HaChadesh, the commandment of Rosh Chodesh as it is in the Torah. But most of the time, the Kriya of Parshas HaChodesh, like this year, is not in the same day as Rosh Chodesh. Sometimes Parshas HaChodesh falls out on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and this year it doesn't, as most years. So there is a reading about Rosh Chodesh as it is in Torah, but not the way it is on the actual, but not on the actual day of Rosh Chodesh. That represents the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus as they are in their place before they descended below down to the world. And then there is the Kriya of Rosh Chodesh, the actual reading of Rosh Chodesh, not the Kriya of HaChodesh Zalochem, the special reading of Rosh Chodesh Nisan, but the reading of the Torah about Rosh Chodesh, that refers to how Rosh Chodesh is in the world. That's a consistent Torah reading we always have on Rosh Chodesh. That refers to the realm of time. That's how the attributes of the emotions of Atzilus descend to the world beneath it to be the source for creation. That's how the midas of Atzilus are in Malchus. So, according to this, Rosh Chodashim, the Kriya of Rosh Chodesh is associated with nature. Torah reading about Rosh Chodesh is associated with nature. The Torah reading about Chodesh Hazeh of Rosh Chodesh Nisan is associated with miracles. And the Torah reading of Vayikra, which is about Hashem calling to Moshe, and doesn't say who's calling, that, according to one explanation, that's the level of Kesser. That refers to the world of freedom, the sphere of the Makif of Bina, the Chuppah, which is beyond both the Jewish people, which are the source of everything. All right, to be continued. We continue in our lives to see the miracles happening before we get to the month of Rosh Chodesh Nisan. Good Shabbos, l'chaim.